Call to order Board of Trustees special meeting Wednesday, May 26th, 2021 at 10:33 a.m. Roll call. Trustee Lopez.
Present.
Trustee Baca.
Present.
Trustee Archuleta.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Brumlow.
Present.
Thank you. Action, discussion, approval of the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda? No? Need a motion to approve, please.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second the motion.
Motion by Trustee Baca, second by Mayor Pro Tem Brumlow. Trustee Archuleta.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brumlow.
Yes.
Trustee Lopez.
Yes.
Trustee Baca.
Yes.
Adoption of PER wastewater.
So this is the PER that was presented to you by Wilson on April 5th. They finally completed it and we're ready to submit it to the state. Once you all approve this, we can go through with the process of the application through USDA. It's going to be close to an $8 million application.
Any questions?
I make a motion to approve the wastewater. What is it called again? PR.
PER wastewater.
I'll
No.
second it.
Motion by Trustee Archuleta, second by Trustee Lopez. Mayor Pro Tem Brumlow.
Yes.
Trustee Lopez.
Yes.
Trustee Baca.
Yes.
Trustee Archuleta.
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution 2021-013, TPF project selection and commitment.
This is the transportation project fund through the state. We're looking at applying for close to $3 million, maybe a little over. What we're going to do is we're going to put in there that we're contingent upon the match waiver so that it doesn't affect our budget. This will be Airport Road from 605 to Motel Drive. Not 605, I'm sorry. Highway 66 to Motel Drive.
22. Oh,
So we're gonna try to get the full project funded instead of just a portion.
Questions?
And we match at 165,000. Is that what that is?
That is our match, but we're going to apply for the match waiver.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So this will actually give us the authority to apply for the funds and the waiver at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Anybody else?
we need a motion on that.
If there's no more questions, need a motion to approve.
Okay, I make a motion to approve resolution 2021-013, the TPF project selection.
No second.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Brumlow, second by Trustee Archuleta. Trustee Baca.
Yes.
Trustee Lopez.
Yes.
Trustee Archuleta.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brumlow.
Yes.
Soccer field task order.
This is the second task order for the soccer field. Excuse me. The first task order was for the surveying and the topographic, geographic slopage. This one will cover the location of the restroom facility, the storage facilities, and the concession.
Questions?
So
If n-
it just required, for the locations, that's what that's for?
This is basically plotting out the location and getting the slopage design ready for it. All the surveys have been completed, so now we just need the slopage. This will cover the placement of the concrete pads that the buildings are going to be placed on,
Oh, okay. Okay.
and basically the meetings that we're having for all the design of the buildings and the locations.
Okay.
So it's a 24,494.74, including gross receipts tax, and it's for Wilson.
And this is at the present field, not at Combs,
This is the soccer field complex.
at the present
Yeah, that's cool.
Yes.
That's cool.
So will this payment be done through this fiscal year or next fiscal year?
It'll be done through it should probably hit us by the end of June.
Okay.
So yes,
So we're budgeted for this year.
I believe so. Yes.
Okay, okay,
And this is fully reimbursable. It's grant money from capital outlay.
okay, okay.
Anybody else? Any questions? If not, need a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the soccer field task order.
I'll second.
Motion by trustee Lopez, second by trustee Chuleta. Mayor Pro Tem Brumble,
Yes.
trustee Chuleta,
Yes.
trustee Baca,
Yes.
trustee Lopez.
Yes.
Rate revision ordinance.
This one is not for a vote. This is just for guidance. Eileen and I worked on an ordinance to increase the water and sewer rates. It's supposed to be done annually per the previous ordinance, so instead of creating an amendment to that ordinance, we've redone the full ordinance to clarify it. So it's a 3% increase across the board. And I just need your okay to go ahead and advertise, so it won't be up for adoption until next month. The rates will go into effect July 1.
We agree?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, resolution 2021-015, preliminary budget.
You guys should have your preliminary budget that Gloria gave to you last meeting. There are a couple of changes. I know that Carl talked to you about the cameras that he wants. He did get his demo camera in. He wanted me to show you guys. This is sort of what it looks like. I had a little trouble getting it out of the case. He's gonna have to take care of it, but it takes place of their cell phone, their lapel cam, and an actual camera. It looks like the cell phones and the system itself is $5,000 a year, but their cell phone bills would increase by $6,240 because the state is making it to where if your officers use their cell phone for anything to do with law enforcement, their cell phones can be IPRID. And we don't want to be sued if we take somebody's phone and we don't have it. So we are, either way, we're gonna have to get them a cell phone, and this looks like it would be the better way to go.
I'll show it to you guys, but it's, they put it in the case, so it's not supposed to be in the little case. Typically, you'll be able to find it out in the end of the phone, but we're gonna have to work some magic because they double cased it. There's a big button here, so that's gonna be, ideally, like I said, they have a doctor's foot. They clip it to them, they have magnets that'll hold it, so your camera sticks out of your uniform, you got the red button there, press the red button and record, then you press the button again, if they need to, again, like I said, they double cased this, so it's not gonna be.
Carl did get it out, so you should be able to get it out.
So then if they need to use it for the phone, they pull it out and use it as a phone, they need to take pictures, they take pictures and it reports it to their software, so if they're a crash site or an accident or something like that, if you guys wanna take a look at it.
Oh, and it has GPS. It also has the GPS too, so you could turn the GPS on the units. You can turn them off and save money that way if you want to.
So, you can, but you need to remember that if you take the units off the GPS of the vehicle, that's fine, but this tracks the officer wherever they're at. So, if, I guess if someone was to steal a vehicle, you wouldn't have access to it, or if something, vehicle was shot somewhere or something. This tracks just the officer only when the phone's on. So when off duty, you wouldn't have no way to know whether that car is being used. Or
Right.
not. And I know at the time we got the GPS units because the cars were being abused. So I mean, that's something for you guys to think about. You could do that, but if you're still concerned about vehicle abuse, you may want to leave those. And the cost for the vehicle is, I want to say it's like $20 a month. Once you pay for the GPS units that you have, it's $20 a month for that.
It's not a lot. And there is a training tomorrow at 11. If you guys want to, if anybody wants to come and sit on that training, they're gonna do it here. Carl said to make sure I invited you guys to that training.
Questions?
I want to know what does this device cut down on what we already pay for?
This is not going to cut down on anything, but it can save you in the long run lawsuits. It also gives the officers a phone to use for just business. So again, if that phone gets IPRID by some chance, if there's a lawsuit, they're not losing their personal phone, they're losing the village's cell phone.
Okay.
But it does take away from the lapel cam. You'll save on that because this is going to be the lapel cam. And the nice thing about this one is it uploads automatically to the cloud, whereas the lapel cam, you have to take it off and load it. So it's all instant.
You would save $2,000 a year, the first year, because he pays something like 5 or 6 for the lapel cam software now. This software is cheaper. The first year would be $2,000 savings. And then I don't know,
What-
during after,
what it would
year
be
after you
after
pay
that?
for the equipment, it would be a little cheaper still yet. But the storage part of it, that you will always have to pay that storage part, even after you own the devices. Axon charges them 6, this would be 4. So you're saving 2,000 a year just in the storage itself. And then you get the added functionality as a bonus. So you wouldn't save, I mean, like I said, the first year you have to buy the units and all that, but after that first year, it'll drop significantly.
I
And
would
like
save
you
them on
said-
their budget, and then their budget wouldn't work for them. Yeah, no?
So has he figured that's all in his budget?
No, not yet. So that's what one of the changes will be, is we'll have to increase the cell phone by the 6240. And like you said, you're gonna save 2,000 in the long run, so that'll also be a good savings. But the 6240 is just going to cover the cell phone bill, which is about $60 a month.
The other thing is we may be able to get better pricing with the cell phone. And if we do, it'll save you a little bit of money a month beyond that. Maybe 30, 40 bucks a month per phone, so I'm not quite sure. So we don't think we
Can you
can-
figure it out?
Okay. So I would like to add 7,000 to the telephone budget for the police department. We didn't unfortunately get to do the demo until after I'd already created the preliminary budget.
And each officer's gonna be held responsible
Yes,
for each cell phone.
absolutely.
So that would make it 17,800.
Yes, ma'am. The only other, this budget, I designed it to be ready to go if you approve it for your final two. The only thing that will change from that is the fire funds. They have not got their release of letter yet. So what I did was I based it off of what they're guaranteed to get, which is the 129,000. The last few years, they've got around 180,000. So that number will change, but you could always upload it just like that with the 129 and do a budget adjustment later.
Any other questions?
Are we having to vote on that or what?
Do we want, do you wanna?
So what
Oh,
happens
we're doing the
is-
budget, we're doing the, for the
Yes.
preliminary.
It is due by June 1, and I asked for the meeting today. That way I can get it uploaded to the crosswalk and have it submitted to LGBMS before June 1.
Okay, I have a question on your salaries and stuff. Does that mean that everybody goes up to where they, at the beginning of the fiscal year, they go back up to where you guys say they are on the budget?
If you approve that, yes, it'll be July 1.
Okay, well, I have some questions on that.
Okay?
I do too.
That's
So
all right.
do I.
I'm okay with you moving the custodian up. It's fine with that. Let me see.
Oh, and I do want to point out real quick, just maybe it'll take care of some of your questions. Anybody that's going to 1150, January 1, the new minimum wage is 1150. Just wanted to let you guys know that.
Okay, and then your PD, you've got the police chief going up, and he hasn't even been here 6 months.
So you can put that, if you decide to approve it, you can put that in his PA form that it will not go into effect until he's been here the year. But when we talked about in our meeting, me, you and Vivian, about his $2 incentive, I added him in. It's up to you
So
guys how
it's
you
there
want to go.
just in case.
Yeah, but
Okay.
you don't, for him, because he's new, you don't have to approve that right away. You can do that by July. I'm sorry, he came in May, so by May, right? You can do
Okay.
that.
I think
And-
that would be better.
And Antoinette Castillo, she hasn't been here. She hasn't even completed her probation. She's gonna go up $3?
Well, one of the things she's doing now is she's taken over as admin support to the code enforcer as well. That's how I got him to stay with both jobs, is he just needed help with the paperwork, typing the minutes for his meetings, kept helping with the agenda and everything like that. I put that amount in there, again, a cushion, because when you're preparing for the budget, you got to prepare for the whole year. So I didn't know which direction you wanted to go with that.
Okay, and that was my next question, was Mike still doing the code enforcement or was in dog catching?
Yeah, he's gonna stay with both. He was just a little worried about the overwhelming amount of paperwork that's coming in, and I'm like, well, I have an idea. Let me talk to the chief, and the chief was okay with it, and Antoinette was okay with it as well. So it gives her a little bit more duties. So I think she should be compensated fairly for that.
Are these other numbers written in here, are those yours?
No, ma'am. My budget
Do
is
you
what I
have
turned in
numbers
was
written
blank.
in? Who did that?
I did.
It was a good, I think it's a good comparison.
That was to compare to the current rates.
I asked for it.
You
was-
did.
Yes.
It was a
Is
good.
there a reason?
Well,
If
I'm
you
just
look at-
wondering.
I wanted to
if
see what everybody
you
was
look
making
at
It
currently.
wasn't in her
And what
You
we
budget.
have
were.
manual at 15.95.
Exactly, that's the point. So in
Oh,
other words,
Okay,
Sarah,
we
Sarah,
can
So
change
is she
what
that.
gonna work the budget or is she
Sarah,
gonna
what
work the
she's
budget?
asking is that the one you gave us was just all the ones you put in now, right? The budget you put in now?
Yeah.
So I asked for current pays, because I wanted to see current pay compared to what was gonna get, who's getting what, and what's getting, where the money's going.
I
So
could
I
always add a
guessed it.
column for that. I didn't do that last year because you guys approved that budget last year, so it was the
Right.
same. But
And-
I see where you want
But
that.
yeah, I'm trying to explain to her, that's
Okay.
why I asked for it.
I would like a copy because when you guys get my budget book, it has every step along the way, no matter what, even if it's just simple like that. It's just something that I like to, I'm just organized like that. So I'd like a
The whole-
copy of
The
somebody's.
whole PD to me, I mean, I feel they're already making more than enough in the PD, all of them. That money could be used elsewhere right now in his budget. I know it's probably in his budget, but still. I mean, this has been one of my pet peeves for the longest time. I've discussed this with with each chief that came in and with each manager that's been here.
Okay.
You know, the officers are one of the highest paid in the whole, over here, as far as I know, around here, so.
One of the
Sure.
one of the unique things with Carl is he cut his overtime to compensate for some of those raises.
And that's good, I'm glad.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
again,
But-
we can use that money elsewhere.
Yeah, but
in the
that's not,
department.
that's not a guarantee that the overtime is gonna stay
Yeah,
down all the time.
That is
Uh,
true.
the other, one question that I have is, and Officer Salazar, as soon as he completes his probation, that's fine, but, he, he's been here a month and getting a $2 raise right away.
It's like I said,
across the board.
it's
Yeah.
pre-planned, so it's in there if you guys approve it.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that, it doesn't mean that anybody, the new manager coming in is gonna want to approve it. It doesn't mean that you guys want to approve it.
so if we don't approve this right now, we will have another opportunity to approve it, or how does this work now?
Yeah,
So
you'll
this
have
is all
another
there.
opportunity to approve it, but this preliminary budget needs to be in by June 1.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay, so everything said on the police department is
she
not
needs
set in
next
stone. They won't go up to, the increase won't affect them unless they get I thought it was a certificate
Right.
or complete
So what
certificate.
they have to do is they have to earn those raises in 50-cent increments. They're based, and that doesn't even mean they'll get that in that first year. That means they have to earn certain certifications and keep them, and it'll be drawn up like that on the PA form. They have to keep those certifications in order to get those raises each time. So each certification counts for 50 cents. They must keep it in order to keep that raise, otherwise they'll be demoted back down.
So these are just not set in stone. They're just a
No.
cushion.
Yeah, they're just a cushion.
Okay, and so are the rest of the employees. This whole thing is just a question.
Yes.
Because when I was going through it, I saw something here that kind of, we have Joe Ray as the supervisor, but there's others that, there's somebody else that's making more money than him.
So
and him being the
I talked
supervisor.
with Joe Ray and George about how everything's working right now. They both gave me their ideas. Joe Ray would like to be over the water, the streets, and the sewer, and George would take over everything else. So George would have more responsibilities than Joe Ray. The only thing
but
Joe Ray,
still, the amount we're paying these people is, for the jobs they're doing, you know what I mean, is, come on now.
like I said, they're a
it's
cushion.
crazy.
It is up to you guys to decide on what you want to do. with that.
Yeah,
Because on the
It is
chain,
just a guideline.
on the chain of command thing, we have Joe Ray as you know.
That was going to change if that's what you guys decide on.
Okay,
As far as
so-
I know, we hadn't changed it. They approved it Wednesday, right?
Or,
For the one that you gave us. That one was approved Wednesday night. That one
what?
wasn't approved.
Oh, on the chart you're talking?
Yeah.
oh, the,
Chart.
yeah, the
They did
chart
vote
hasn't been
to
changed
approve it.
yet.
They did vote to
They
approve it.
did vote to
So that
approve.
one will have Carl on there. I believe that was one of the changes, and then Candy and Gloria.
And
but
then, of
you're gonna-
course, yours will have to change again too, so.
Right, so you're gonna have to change it again in a short time.
I can make one comment on this.
Go
Some
ahead.
people are hired at this time and the wage is this. And then this person gets hired at a different wage and you'll be making more than that person. It happens at the state all the time.
Well, that's why we have our pay scales implemented. I
Yes.
think you've got, I really do want to see the guys out on the field be where they need to be because they are hard workers.
Yes.
I was a little leery on that, on George's because it did go up.
Significantly.
Yeah, and I didn't understand why. But all the other guys, I would like to, especially Julian, he earned that certificate. He should be moved up
Yes,
with the pay, with the.
and he's been here quite some time from what I understand,
Mhm.
so.
But like you say, this is a cushion. That does not necessarily mean that these go into effect. Okay, so I think they need to have evaluations if they want to go up. I think it needs to be
It's a
done.
great idea.
So with that, is Joe Ray, is Jack under
Joe Ray.
Joe Ray?
Right.
Then Jack is making more than Joe Ray,
We didn't demote him, therefore we legally could not change that.
but
I know
But
what
we
you're,
didn't move-
I understand what you're
But we
saying.
didn't move the Ray up either.
He did get moved up when he took it over,
Nothing now though.
But yeah, he didn't go up.
but he's taking less duties, that's why.
But what about since he's been taking duties? He got more money.
Yes.
But why shouldn't they at least be equal in pay, instead of, you know?
I think the pay right now is, I mean, good for what they're getting. I don't think they need a raise at all, to be honest with you.
To be fair to everybody, I think it needs to go across the board, a percentage raise to everybody. Get the people that need to be up to where they need to be with the new
Minimum wage.
minimum
Right.
wage. And then I'd like to see everybody,
Working on
not
everybody else,
just,
yeah.
not just picking on some, just,
Right,
it creates less jealousy
yes.
in the workplace.
And that's what I was trying to get at, the morale, because, I'm just gonna use Wanda as an example. She's still at $15 an hour, and then somebody comes in, not even off probation, making $15 an hour. You know, what does that tell you?
Right.
And it's, and she's quiet, she doesn't say anything, maybe that's why.
What were we
Vivian, I
asking
think
about transit also?
You also had a question.
I was at, I did make them, I did say about manual. I'm assuming that is a template.
It's
Typo?
probably a typo. Let me go in there real quick.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, I would hope so, because we can't go down on.
No, I may have done a typo.
Okay.
Let's see, part.
So his rate of pay is the one that's written in. currently.
Should be.
Should be 1795 instead of.
And so he'll stay the same because he did just get the raise, and some of these employees got raises last year, and that's why they're not on this list. The plan was by the next fiscal years to do the straight across percentage amount, but you had to get some people, like Wanda didn't have one for a while, and so she was one that got one, for example. And so you have to get, it takes time, especially when the budget was the way it was last year.
When's the last time Jolene got one?
Last year,
Last year also?
yes.
Who was that?
Jolene.
Jolene.
And you guys had a question on transit?
Yeah, what were we talking about that day?
I don't know what
We
the-
get reimbursed for that? What were you asking?
Right now, transit's getting 100% reimbursed.
We ran about- well, she
That'll
brought
end
up
October
something,
1
no?
though.
Her, Melissa's salary.
Yeah.
So
How does that go? Does she have to, do you have to go before the board?
yes,
Since it's grants in the county and the village?
right. So her budget's been the same since I was transit director. It's never changed, but that raise was never put into effect for anybody. So she's supposed to spend as much of her grant money as she can, and that's why I put it in there, so that can be discussed.
So when she goes to the next transit meeting, they'll have to approve.
They did discuss it, but I think they tabled it because they had some issues with the actual other part of the budget. So they tabled that for now. They want to, Paul from the county is very good with numbers, so he wanted to look more into the budget to see what the discrepancies were.
Okay.
Yeah, another thing that worries me about Carl is that if we pay him that much, we're gonna be trying to get a manager in here that's gonna be making less than what he's making, so it's just gonna be, that'd be too difficult to do.
I don't think I had any problems with the rest of the project. I just had questions on that, on the personnel part.
Okay, and on the projects, if you look, Denise gave me her projects spreadsheet, which really helped guide where I was gonna put those numbers. So at the bottom in the orange, I put how much the projects were in and out, just so you guys would see that too, as a breakdown.
And where was that on? On what page?
That's on the 399.
Okay.
You won't see anything in the 299 because we did not do CDBG this year. You'll see the budget there. I think they have some leftovers they need to take care of that might go into the new fiscal year. But other than that, you won't see anything out of the 299.
And those cameras that the police chief is talking about, those can come out of their law enforcement grant, right?
Yes. And like I said, they're paying for the Axon, so we really only need to move some of the Axon money into the cell phone. It'll lay out about $2,000, like Mike said.
And you can't pay for phone out of that, huh?
Well, they have a separate telephone line item, so you can, yeah, but you can move the monies. And
Oh,
I
you can
can
move
take.
it to,
Oh, LEPF, no. Yeah, so
Okay.
telephone office supplies, it's gotta be mostly equipment
Yes,
or,
sir.
okay.
yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
They might be able to buy the
Yes,
phones
sir.
out of there, but like he said, they could get them for as little as
You could give him an
99
estimate.
cents.
They can pay for the equipment, yeah. So
Okay.
you can
I
pay
was
for
here,
the cost-
that's why I asked
the
for it.
upfront cost out of that, and then the road you have to pay, or out of his budget, you would have to pay for
How come mine
all
isn't?
service.
That's when I was trying to call you. You're in the mountains.
Yeah, I don't have that one, mine.
Should.
I don't have it this one. I don't have it
You
in
didn't get it in your box.
Am I missing it for a reason?
This is the one that was with this packet, right? That's on there, right?
Yeah, I haven't got that one yet. Mine's in my box.
No, I have that, but I don't have anything about what you're talking about.
Oh, I didn't get that one.
Project.
That one was the one that Gloria handed out at the last meeting.
Oh.
That wasn't part of the packet I handed out.
I don't have
Yeah,
that
she
one yet.
handed it out. You're right. She did. So if this budget gets approved, you're gonna put it to the LGB website and stuff, that'll go to them?
Yeah, so what I have to do is now I gotta take it and add it to the crosswalk. And what that is, so we have RGL numbers,
Mhm.
LGBMS has their own. So I get to sit and compare all of these line items to theirs, add all the new numbers in, and then it'll be ready for upload. And but in order to be able to upload it, I gotta have the resolution if you approve it, so that way it's official.
So now how do we do this without dealing with all this?
I think since
I don't like
these
a lot
are
of those.
these are not gonna become effective except to the employees that need to get the raises.
Right.
The other ones that were in question, I think it's just a cushion in case they do.
If you guys,
Based
Once
on
we-
if they
evaluation,
earn
so-
it, so
Once we approve this, it's approved, correct?
this is your preliminary budget. This is not your final.
Okay, so when do we do the final?
So
That one's after.
it'll be after this is uploaded into the system.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was trying to make it as close, since I'm leaving, I was trying to make it as close to that as possible. So there wasn't a big, I guess a big loophole and you guys would know where you wanted to go. for the final budget. So if you want to change those, we can change those. I have a very short window to do that.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to change some of them, so.
And these numbers are some of the numbers we talked about, me, Miss Roseanne and Miss Vivian. We did talk about these numbers in our meeting session. 'Cause
Okay,
the-
well, they're not agreeing with the same ones I am, so I mean, we're gonna have to change it regardless, right?
Excuse me?
I said, you guys are agreeing with the same ones I am, so
Yeah.
we're gonna have to change it regardless.
Okay.
So do we want to table the resolution? Or-
That's up to them.
But if we, so this is just preliminary and you can upload it, then we can still come back and,
Your final budget can be changed.
right, right.
And remember, this isn't the budget you
Same.
have to use. You don't have to issue those out. You
Right.
can, you can talk to your new manager and say, this is what we did and why, but I don't agree with these numbers, and they know that going ahead of time.
Okay. That's not from both, yeah.
So in order to get us going and everything,
We can approve tonight.
we need to go ahead and approve this.
Just because it's gonna take me a good 3 days or so to get the crosswalk done.
Yeah.
Right.
So for projects, I understand here you have Jack under labor. Is he still gonna be doing projects?
We don't have an actual projects position. So I do have him under there because he still works with Joe Ray. So
But he's still gonna help you?
yes, yeah, that's not changing. I just didn't have an actual projects account to put him into. So it's just for paperwork, for paperwork reasons.
So we can go ahead. with
Go
it.
ahead and make a motion, yes,
Okay.
and then
I make a motion that we approve resolution 2021-015, the preliminary budget.
I'll second it.
motion by Mayor Pro Tem Brumble, second by Trustee Lopez. Trustee Baca,
Yes.
Trustee Archuleta,
Yes.
Trustee Lopez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brumble.
Yes.
Thank you. Next item is closed session, limited personnel matters pursuant to section 10-15-1H2 NMSA 1978.
Make
Need a motion
go
to-
into closed session.
Thank you.
Sorry, folks.
I'll second it.
Motion by
Just so you know.
Trustee Archuleta, second by Trustee Lopez to go into closed session. Mayor Pro Tem Brumble,
Yes.
Trustee Archuleta,
Yes.
Trustee Baca,
Yes.
Trustee Lopez.
Yes.
We will now go into closed session.